Hi everybody, it's Connie here. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I just wanted to get up here and do my TTC update, and wow, there's kind of a lot to tell you guys, so I'm going to try to jam pack it all in and make this video not too long. So anyways, this morning my husband and I, we just got back from seeing Dr. Lee, our fertility specialist. It was our first meeting with him, and John had his semen analysis done, and aside from the awkwardness of the whole thing, we got over it very quickly. John just manned up and he was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this, and I was so proud of him. He did it, and thankfully, he is normal. I'm so happy. Dr. Lee said that John was right sort of in the middle. He wasn't like at the very top, you know, in terms of like, you know, the best results that he's seen, but he wasn't at the lowest either. So he was right around average, just normal. And I was just relieved that there was nothing, you know, no alarming issues, and you know, there was another hurdle to jump if he were to have problems with his sperm, you know. So I was really relieved and just happy for John, because he told me that, you know, he started to doubt himself, like, why can't I get my wife pregnant, you know. But I was just telling him, no, don't even think that, and you know, sometimes it just takes people a little bit longer. So I was really glad that that John, everything was normal and everything was great. So now the doctor said that we could now look at me, and basically he said, since we hadn't been trying for a year, it was really up to us if we wanted to start our fertility treatments. He said that, you know, normally it takes couples about a year, but he says because of, you know, my age, I'm over 35, I'm actually 37, he said that we could start if we wanted to take those next steps. I told him about my periods and how sometimes I would get this really sharp pain while I was flowing on my period, and this is only when I'm flowing on my period. When I start to feel like I'm gonna have a bowel movement, I guess the you know, excrements are moving down my bowels, and it causes so much pain, and sometimes I just have to stop and just freeze and like hold on to something because it hurts so much, and it's just a couple of seconds of like intense sharp pains. And he said that based on what I was telling him, that it could be some endometriosis, that he said that it would be a good thing to get my tubes checked for any blockages. So of course, you know, that's going to be the HSG. And he said, but before he even did the HSG, he would want to put me on Clomid if I wanted to, you know, take those next steps with our TTC. So I don't know how I feel about that. I really wanted to avoid like taking drugs at this time, just because, you know, it hasn't been a year yet. But he said that by taking Clomid, I would be producing more eggs, and they would be more quality eggs as well. I'm not sure how I feel about that at this point. I really need to talk it over with John and think about it some more. I think for me, what would make more sense as a next step would be to do an HSG, only because I do have those intense sharp pains while I'm flowing on my period, which could be endometriosis. And if you guys don't know what endometriosis is, it's basically just tissue. It's like endometrial lining, like the tissue on there, and it grows in different areas inside your body. And normally, I mean, it could be on your tubes, it could be on your bowels, it could be in your uterus, it could be just like scar tissue on your ovaries, and it just could be everywhere. And I know some women have it really bad, and to the point where they're in so much pain they can't even like get out of bed. But thankfully that's not the case for me. So I feel like a logical next step would be to do an HSG and then do Clomid. So I'm not quite sure, because Dr. Lee said that it would he would want to put me on Clomid first before doing an HSG, and he would go in that order. So yeah, I kind of just need to think about it and let him know what we want to do, if we want to wait to really start the fertility treatment. So yeah, and that's basically that. And last week I met up with my friend. I told you guys that she's this really sweet person that is a licensed acupuncturist, and she's also I guess kind of versed in Chinese medicine. I had my meeting with her and I didn't know what to expect at all. And she basically, I filled out this really long questionnaire. She asked me a few questions. Like I said, she took my pulse. She looked at my tongue. She asked me about my periods and everything. And based on that, she kind of said that I needed to stay away from cold type foods. So in Chinese medicine, there's different foods that are under different categories. Like, is it a warming food? Is it a hot food? Is it a cold food? And she said for my body type, my disposition, I needed to kind of concentrate on the warming foods and not eat like cold stuff like ice cream and cold icy drinks. She said that definitely I need to exercise more, because guys, even though I really have a heart to exercise, like, it's so hard for me to get into it. And but hearing it come from her, who's a professional in her field, she's like, you really need to exercise because it gets your body, it gets circulation going even inside your reproductive area. It gets blood flow, and that blood flow is really, really crucial because we want that free-flowing energy in there. So that really made a lot of sense to me, and it kind of really hit me like, Connie, you really need to exercise, like, do whatever. And so I was online and I found some awesome, like, kind of aerobic things that are kind of fun to do. Like I said, I like dancing. So there was like a go-go dancing workout. There was like a Zumba, I don't know if I'm saying that right, workout online that I'm just gonna plug in my laptop and I'm gonna start doing it and get those, you know, 30 to 40 to 50 minutes of cardio in at least 3 times a week. So I'm really, really committed to that, and she's the one who got me into that. And also she did some acupuncture on me. I was not expecting that at all. What was amazing was I felt so amazing afterwards. And she gave me a bottle of herbals, like herbal pills that I could take. And lately, guys, I don't know if it was the acupuncture and a combination of herbs and whatnot, but I have been feeling amazing. I'm very grateful for Dr. Lee, our fertility specialist, and I'm grateful for my friend. Her name's Sayaka. She's just so amazing. And yeah, so I feel like going into 2014, it's looking pretty good. I'm like feeling pretty hopeful right now. And so I just want to wish all of you guys tons of baby dust for the upcoming new year. Let's do this, girls. Let's get healthy, let's get fit, and let's just stay positive and make it happen for 2014. So I love you all, and I'm praying for all of you. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye! I just woke up from a nap. It's Thanksgiving Day and I'm like looking like crap right now. But before I headed out, I have to make my Thanksgiving dish, which is this. Green beans with pancetta. Got my green beans here and some pancetta. So I wanted to do a videotape of this so that you guys know what I made for Thanksgiving. So it'll be like a fun little cooking video. What we're gonna do is chop up some garlic. And I'm gonna take maybe 2 big cloves of garlic. By the way, this is my first time making this, so I have no idea how it's gonna turn out, but I saw this recipe and I thought it was so delicious. And it looks beautiful. And this year is a potluck style Thanksgiving, so all the other family members are bringing different potluck dishes, and so we were assigned to do something green. And I've been loving green beans lately, and so that's what I'm gonna make. It's kind of like a stir-fried green beans with pancetta, pancetta is just Italian bacon, and so it adds a nice flavor. It is on the fatty side, but that's why it's so dang good, because it's so fatty and delicious. So that's what we're gonna use. And here I am, I'm gonna chop up some garlic, and I'm just gonna use some nice big slivers in it. I'm not gonna use the crushed. It's gonna look like that, and that should add a nice garlicky kick to the dish. Alright, so what I've got here is a nice pot of water, and I'm gonna boil it because we're gonna just blanch the green beans just slightly, maybe for like a minute or two, just to soften them up a bit. And now I'm gonna add some salt because that's how we're gonna flavor those green beans. So just a really good, generous amount of salt inside that boiling water. And over here I have this huge kind of like wok dealio. I kind of need to use this only because there's so many green beans. I mean, I'm making it for like what is it, Boo? Like 12
people.
Yeah, between 10 and 12 people. So this whole basket of green beans has to be able to fit in here so that I can, like, you know, stir it around and stuff. So now I just finished putting the green beans that were boiling in the pot of water into a basket, and I just kind of cooked them down just a little bit because we're going to cook them again in this pan. Well, actually it's a wok, but now I got my pancetta, and I'm going to open it. Oh, it's already open. I think I already used it. And we're going to just do it in half batches because it's a lot. So we're going to cook this down. So you can close up on this. Do you see it?
Yeah.
So as you can see, I did oil the pan a little bit with some grapeseed oil, and so there's already oil that's coming out of the pancetta, but you still just want to grease the pan just a little bit. I'm going to add some of my garlic pieces in here. Remember, I'm doing a half batch right now, so I'll be doing it again. So with the garlic and everything, and let that garlic, oh my gosh, I love garlic. It's like my favorite herb. I feel like everything I cook, I have to put garlic in it, otherwise there's no taste. That's gonna make it really delicious is this. It's like some balsamic vinegar. I'm not even going to measure it or anything because I never measure things. I just kind of go with the feeling of it. And here we go. It will pop a little bit. So once we got that going, I'm going to kind of let it caramelize down. I'm going to add a little bit more because I want it very liquidy. And as this is cooking down, I'm going to take my green beans, a half batch of them, and just stick them in there. Like so. This is about half. And then I'm going to mix it around. So as people are eating the green beans, they get little bits of pancetta, and so it's a nice little bit of meat that they're eating along with the green beans. So we want to mix it around and get that balsamic vinegar and the pancetta flavor and the garlic all mixed into the green beans. As that's getting nice and caramelized, I'm going to add just a little bit more salt. So we're going to add a little bit of salt like that, salt it up, and we're going to add a little bit of pepper. I can hear it, I can hear it. It is cooking like that, and we're going to now take off you have to work quickly with this, so now I'm taking off the fire. And I'm going to transfer it into, how about we put it in here, Boo?
Is that going to be good enough? How about do you have a pyrex?
Ooh, I do have a pyrex.
Yes. Be careful, don't drop it.
This is my medium-sized pyrex.